Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to create an API gateway endpoint which will allow us to create a user or register a user in the Cognito user pool. So let us look at the steps which we need to follow one by one. So the first step is we have to initialize npm project in our source code repository. Next, we have to install the required dependencies, the AWS SDK libraries, I mean. Then we need to configure Lambda handler in the serverless YAML file that we have. And finally, we have to write code for the Lambda handler. Once these steps have been done, we also need to deploy our service. I'm at my command prompt. Here I will type npm uh, init hyphen 5. So this will basically create a package JSON file in our source code repository. I will clear the screen and I will install uh, npm install minus minus save at the rate AWS SDK client Cognito identity provider. So this is the dependency which is required. We'll just download it. So I'll pause here a bit and I will, yeah, so we can see that our dependency has been downloaded. Now I will go back to my serverless YAML file in the code repository. Now here, when you are here, open the package JSON and do not forget to add type equal to module. So once this is done, head back to our serverless YAML file and here start configuring the Lambda handler. So the name of the handler would be create user. The path of the handler method would be src functions sign up dot handler. In the under the event section, yes, this is going to be a REST API. So we'll type HTTP here. The path is going to be slash sign up and the method is going to be post in all caps. So in addition to this, we also need Cognito user pool client ID as an environment variable. We are going to use that with the sign up command when we will write the Lambda handler, code for the Lambda handler. So I'll type environment. It will be Cognito client ID client underscore ID and it will be using the logical reference ID of the Cognito user pool resource which we created earlier. So I'll just copy and paste it here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's it. We have configured our handler in the serverless YAML file. So head back to our source code repository. In here, we have to create a folder named src. Under that, again create a folder named functions. And in here, create a file named signup.js. So in this file, I will create export a method named handler, export const handler, which will take an event and context. And yes, this is going to be an asynchronous method. Async. Yeah. Now, from the AWS library, we have to import Cognito client identity provider. Cognito client. Yeah, Cognito identity provider client and sign up command. So inside this method, I'll create a try catch block. Um, so first we will retrieve email and password from event body. So I'll write const email. So we will retrieve email password from this dot pass event dot body. Now we have to create params for the sign up command. So let us go back to the documentation of the sign up command. I have already opened that in my browser, and let us look at the example syntax here. And if you scroll below, you will see the required params, the params which are required by the sign up command. So client ID, username are required, and for our flow, password is also required. And go back to the signup.js file. And before doing that, we have to initialize client Cognito identity provider instance of Cognito identity provider client class. So here I will type uh, const client equal to new Cognito provider client, and it will take region as region from environment variable. Process.env.aws underscore region. So we already looked at the params which are required for creating the sign up command. So here we will prepare those params. Const params equal to client ID, and we are going to pick up the client ID from the environment variable. So we'll type in here process dot env dot cognito client underscore ID username, which is nothing but email in our case, and password, which is going to be password in our case. So that now that params are created, we'll prepare the response equal to client. Also, we have to write await here, client dot new sign up command, and it will take up the params which we have prepared above. So once we have got the response, we have to return status code is going to be 201 because we have created a new resource or a user. And in the body, we are going to return the response stringified, JSON stringified response as is. And in case of error, we have to return status code of 500. And in the body, we will return message error dot message. And in the details, we'll return the error itself. So this is going to be the entire flow of our handler. So first we are preparing the params from the email and the password, which we will get from the input in the as from the event.body, and then once and then we will make a call to send method of the client. So with this handler, with our handler code being ready, now we will just deploy our service by going to the command prompt again, back again, and in here I will type serverless hyphen verbose for verbosity. It has started deploying the service. I will pause here a bit and I will come back once it has been deployed. Now here you can see that our service has been deployed successfully, and we have also got the endpoint or endpoint back, and which we can use to consume. Now I have copied that endpoint API gateway endpoint, and I will go back to my VS Code In here, I have already installed Thunder Client extension to test the API gateway or the REST APIs. So you can use any other REST API client, but I choose the Thunder client here because I do not have to navigate anywhere else from the VS Code. So I'll hit new request, and here I will provide the API gateway endpoint, and the method is going to be post, and in the body I will provide the email and password. Uh, so the email is uh, the email we can make use of any of the free temporary email providers. There are a lot of available on the internet. I'll just choose one of the random email. Yeah, I'll pick this one and go back to our VS Code. Here I will paste that. And for the password, we have to pick up the password, which is a difficult one, which is a combination of capital letters, alpha numbers, and special characters. Test @123 hash, and just click on the send button. So here you can see we have got the successful response, and we just go back to our browser, refresh this inbox. If yeah, we have got the verification code. So in the next video, we are going to create an API gateway endpoint which will confirm this user with the help of this confirmation code which we have received via email. Now go back to our VS Code. Yeah. So we will just take a look at the AWS console. We'll go to the AWS console and look at the Lambda function which has been deployed. Here I'm in my AWS console, and I have navigated to Lambda functions here, and I will just check the latest deployed Lambda function, which is nothing but create user. And here on this dashboard, you can see that trigger is the API gateway trigger, which we have enabled in the serverless YAML file. And to monitor the Lambda functions, we can make use of the CloudWatch logs under the monitor tab here. So just click on the view CloudWatch logs button, and you will be able to see the available logs here. So in case you want to debug the Lambda function, you can add console logs in our code. For example, in the signup.js, the anything that we write here in the console logs will be getting printed in our CloudWatch logs. So that's it for this video, guys. The next video, we will create an API gateway endpoint to confirm this user. And thanks for watching this video.